Does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put you.
How did we ever do it before?
Now, I just played that opening clip to remind you all that Donald Trump thinks you're all stupid and very untalented, but we have to talk about Geppettos.
Again!
Now, I wasn't aware in 2028 when the new Olympics dawned that they were going to add a whole new sport called mental gymnastics. Now, between these like alt-right white supremacists and these sold-out media pundits and these trash pandas, I'm really not sure who's going to be competing for the gold. But all I know is they're going to be giving it their all because they be working overtime when it comes to manufacturing a narrative and manipulation. Because these people are no longer just moving the goalposts. I mean, they're downright just relocating the team. Stadium is no longer there. As far as I know, and to my understanding, the plot has been deleted. It is gone, eradicated, deceased. They have put that thing in a recycling bin and they have deleted it. It is nowhere to be found because they're going to start creating a whole new story altogether, apparently. But Megyn Kelly had some insane takes basically yesterday, and I don't know why, but when I heard her saying this stuff, it really felt like she had a gun to her head the entire time she was saying this stuff. Felt like she was really uncomfortable saying these things that should be very uncomfortable to say. But I'm going to play the whole clip in its entirety, and then we're going to break it down, and then we're going to give it a little bit more context.
You know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile.
Liar.
This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
I beg your pardon?
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts.
I could care less.
That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds. But he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby.
Jail. Jail. Jail, jail, jail. Jail. You going to jail. Jail.
And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it, now they call it child abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest, I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10, I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. Yeah.
There's no way they are moving the goalposts and humanizing Jeffrey Epstein. These people are defending a PDF and moving the goalposts just to protect their Lord and Savior Donald Trump. Jeffrey Epstein was running a trafficking ring, and she just sat here and said there's a possibility he wasn't really a PDF when he was already charged in 2008 for being a PDF, for abusing minors. And if you think it stops there, it doesn't.
Yeah, and it only gets worse from here. It doesn't get better. And then when I was talking about them trying to manufacture a narrative and manipulation, this next clip proves they're really trying to do that. They're once again trying to blame, guess who? Barack Obama.
what she had to say about this.
Another matter, over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory.
Do you not see these weak-ass attempts to distract you and get you to lose focus on the prize, like on what's actually happening, them covering up for these Epstein files, them now trying to justify pedophilia and all this nonsense? They're just like, hey, look over there, there's a black man. I mean, it's like, that's what they're really trying to get you with. They're really trying to F you over here with this manipulation of like the words and the narratives of these stories. Like, who cares? We're talking about 2016 election fraud. Hell, Trump won. So apparently Obama and them didn't rig the election enough. They lost. So what are they even complaining about? What's so like groundbreaking about this news? There's nothing groundbreaking about it.
Thank you. The Bible tells us that one of the measures of any society is how it cares for vulnerable children and orphans. So important, and it's so big in the Bible. So as we make America great again, we are going to protect American children in foster care.
Mind you, this is also coming from the guy that starved them for an entire month by shutting down the government. And when he was ordered to pay 3 times by federal judges, he had it blocked and only partially paid them afterwards and tried to demand states to take back their payments they issued. The same person that believes in no free lunches for kids, and the same person that is in the Epstein file.
The same person who now has media personalities like Megyn Kelly too scared to state the obvious, when she was known to state this obvious truth in the past.
This is a quote from Megyn Kelly. There's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances.
And see, now you have Megyn Kelly and whoever this chick that she's talking to on this episode of her show out here jumping through hula hoops, trying to justify grown men picking up chicks at the ice cream truck.
Yeah, in fact, at that same press conference, the lawyer for a group of the women actually said Jeffrey Epstein would prey upon women when they were underage, true and disgusting and horrible. And then the lawyer said, and when they came of age and he was no longer interested in them, he would then pass them on. So there was no pedophilia ring. There was a pedophile who did unspeakable things to vulnerable girls, and then they would age out of Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilic interests, at which point he would then start to pass them around to his friends.
This chick said out of her mouth that you have one Geppetto passing around chicks, but it doesn't make it a ring. Around. And if they're still underage, guess what? They're still part of the Geppetto ring. So it sounds like if you're still passing them around, it's a ring. I don't see how she doesn't understand the correlation when she said that. They were just getting passed around, but there is no Geppetto, no like sexual ring of anything going on with underage girls. I'm trying not to get in trouble.
You know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
Megyn, that's not barely legal. That's underage. That's 9th grade. That's junior prom.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts.
Facts of what? These facts are excuses.
That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby.
Now, see, this is the part where I was talking about. It felt like she had a gun to her head when she was stating this stuff, because she seems like she's very uncomfortable. Like she knows in the back of her head the stuff that she stated in the past when it came to consent and underage girls, but she's still out here trying to jump through these hula hoops. I'm telling you, they're going to place really well. Like if Megyn, Kelly's out there competing with the rest of them in those Olympics, she's going to place very well, because I think she's doing a good job, unless she breaks. She could break at some point in time and come back and like admit to fact that she just does not believe in any of this and that somebody put her up to this, because it does feel that way. Like I just don't know how any grown woman can actually like say this stuff with a straight face or feel like they're dying somewhere inside, because that's what this is. This is horrendous. I mean, honestly, this kind of reminds me of the mental gymnastics. It's sort of like how Rampage Jackson was out here trying to act like, see, I know somebody had to put my son up to beating the mess out of that guy out there, that wrestler. You know, you remember when Raja beat the chicken broth out of Psycho Stu? Yeah, that's when Rampage was out here making excuses, trying to like maneuver around it to make it seem like something had to have happened that led up to this. Well, no, there wasn't. Your son wild out. Just like, no, these people are just evil. Geppettos need to be locked away, burned, flayed, skinned alive. Something horrible needs to take place to these types. They're the worst of us. They're the worst of us. Now, sometimes maybe you can make the case that they're born with a mental illness that they cannot fix. But even if that's the case, they need to be locked away still because they're dangerous.
And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it, now they call it child abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children.
And that's where your thinking should stop right there. Don't think any further than that statement. Let it be right there, because that's right. Those people are sick. They're messed up in the head. They're Geppettos. When you got grown men like Donald Trump out here talking about, oh, I like a grown woman when she's a little underdeveloped, something like that, you know we're in trouble. They're clearly liking only younger girls. I just don't understand it. Like, you got these pictures of Jeffrey Epstein literally in a helicopter with what seems like a 16-year-old girl here. Like, you might be able to say she can pass as a college freshman, but the other ones that I'm going to show you, like this chick here, young. The next chick, young. This chick, younger. I mean, dude, they are babies when it comes to actual life. They have no experiences. This is true exploitation. And then you really do have these grown men out here like, oh, I love her. Sick.
Videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14.
What I hear the most from the right is how they're always upset at the left for creating different definitions, different pockets, and different factions for all these different people, all these different labels where there's L's and G's and T's and Q's and P's and R's and Aces. It doesn't matter. They get really bent out of shape when it comes to stuff like that. But when it comes to Geppettos, they're like, oh, no, not a big deal. You got to really sort these guys out. They're not all the same. Some guys like to sleep with 15-year-olds, preteens, you know what I'm saying? There's some like them a little bit younger. They like them around second grade. You know what I'm saying? When they get really young, they can finally put on a backpack and walk to the bus stop by themselves. Some like them like that. And then some like them straight out of the womb, and they get really off to that. And it's like, you don't find anything effed up with anything that you're saying. You're really over here trying to justify that. And that's what they're doing constantly. Now, this cigarette is fake, by the way. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I'm just saying, these people are constantly making these excuses, and it's mind-boggling to me.
When I first came within his purview, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. Yeah.
There's
no way they're trying to actually justify this shit, but they are. I mean, it really doesn't matter to these people that you had the people like the Epsteins, who's now dead. It's like, why did he go to jail? I mean, if it wasn't that big a deal, then why is Epstein in prison? Why did he get locked up? Why did he get charged, convicted, all this stuff? All that was for nothing? I guess, why is Ghislaine still in prison? Why are they still there? I guess these are the questions they're trying to, this is the part of the story that they're trying to manipulate the most. Now they're like, well, we need to get Ghislaine out of prison because when we think about it, they really didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Of course they didn't, because all these people are involved and we can't have all of them implicated, especially at one time, because the foundation of America will come crumbling down like the Twin Towers, and we cannot afford to have that. Even though we bounce back from that, we will not bounce back from this, and I'm assuming that's what they actually believe. You got these grown ass men actually trying to teach preteens the banana in the tailpipe routine, and you know what? Nobody seems to find an issue with that. That is something that is so diabolically sick and just reprehensible. I don't know what you do about that. I don't even know what happens when all this completely blows up. I really don't. I'm really curious to see what happens at the end of the day, because this is all coming crashing down. It all falls, it all falls down. It's happening. It's happening right now. And this is, I just can't believe some of the stuff that I've been seeing here lately. Like, this is truly crazy. The fact that they're actually trying to act like it's not a bad thing to sleep with a 15-year-old and that it's just worse if it's a 5-year-old is crazy to me. All of it's bad. Don't justify any of it. I mean, truly, mental gymnastics at its finest. I mean, that's what this is. This lets you know that these individuals will do anything they possibly can to cover up all of their horrific shit. And it just causes people to have a real dystopian, mindset when it comes to reality. Like, well, what's real? That's why you have these people out here talking about we must be in the Matrix, because there's no way that this stuff is actually happening. But it is. It was just inevitable. It's human nature. We come crumbling down and destroying ourselves inevitably. I feel like it happens in all the simulations. We just end up destroying each other. Hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon, but it does seem like it's on the docket. Well, anyway, I just want to run through that today, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you soon.